It never fails. Somebody will block a walkway with those things. Sidewalks are not parking lots. Find someplace else to put your junk.
Right here on Lindbergh Drive, right near I-85, early this morning. Police say that the Uber SUV was right here in the middle of the road when it was targeted and came under fire. Investigators say the 30-year-old passenger in that vehicle was shot multiple times in what detectives believe was a targeted shooting.
It sounded like about 40 shots.
A barrage of bullets, a startling wake-up call Tuesday morning for Maurice Sistrunk, who lives near the intersection of Lindbergh and Adena Drives in Buckhead. His bed sits about 20 yards from where a deadly shooting took place.
Bullets could have came through my bed right by the window. I said the bullets could have came through the window.
Atlanta police say the shooting started pre-dawn at about 4:30. When Atlanta police arrived, they found a black Cadillac Escalade on Lindbergh Drive shot up. Investigators say the SUV was being used as an Uber, and the passenger in the vehicle was shot multiple times, dying on scene. They say the driver is cooperating.
Right now, this appears to be a targeted incident.
Investigators say it appears there were multiple shooters. Witnesses told police there was another vehicle involved, but detectives haven't released an exact vehicle type or color. Shortly before the deadly shooting, there was another call about a mile away that some vehicles were damaged by gunfire near Lenox Road and Buford Highway. Police are working to figure out if the scenes are connected.
It's still very early on, and so we're trying to piece a lot of things together. So we're still waiting on the leasing office to see if there's any cameras here that we can verify exactly what happened.
For those who live near where this unfolded, they hope police can make an arrest.
So it's unfortunate. I feel sorry for the girl's family.
At this point, police have not made an arrest, and they have not publicly identified the woman who was killed. But I was able to make contact with a family member who told me, quote, that this is a big loss. If you know anything, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. We're live in Buckhead this afternoon. Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
Tyler, thanks for the latest from there. Still ahead on Fox 5 News at 4.
Kerry King Brown says it's not just a matter of taking you from point A to point B. It's like having a personal bodyguard right next to you every step of the way.
That driver is your official bodyguard, close protection agent.
Kerry King Brown has worked private security for years. He says with the rise in crime, especially crimes against children, he wanted to find a safer way for people to get around. He created Black Wolf App, a rideshare company where the driver is your personal security guard.
I got armed drivers who provide security. We want to make everybody safe and feel secure.
You heard that right. When you order a ride through the Black Wolf app and choose Armed Protection Driver, you get a driver who is former law enforcement, military, or private security. And he's packing. Inside the car, there are cameras, a first aid kit, and in the back, walkie-talkies and a bulletproof vest.
That's mainly for if there's an active shooter running around, we want our client to be safe.
Black Wolf just took its first drive in Atlanta this month and is really taking off, thanks in part to this TikTok video that already has more than 11 million views. King Brown says this isn't just for celebrities or politicians, it's for everyone.
Who are getting shot, who are getting robbed, who are getting raped? The general public. So that's what it was created for.
The cost? He says it's a little higher than other rideshare companies, but it's not just about a ride. The driver will even walk you into your destination and stay with you for as long as needed.
Maybe a little bit more, but again, this is about security and safety.
The Black Wolf app just started in Atlanta 3 weeks ago. King Brown says he already has plans and people in place in other cities, including LA, Miami, and Dallas. In Atlanta, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Itching to move. With 4 bullets landing in their child's bedroom, they say it's just not worth the risk.
Every night we hear gunshots. We need security or police or something.
With 2 kids under 2 in this apartment near Decatur, Dion Green says there's no time to play around with safety.
I work every day, have 2 jobs, and I don't even be home. And, just when I was home that night, it blew me.
Saturday night, just before midnight,
I was in bed at the time.
he says he and his family woke up to 4 gunshots. shots. They all landed in the kid's bedroom.
And we didn't want to cut the lights on, and all of us just got to the floor, and it was a scary situation.
2 bullets lodged in the wall remind the family of what they could have lost.
It could have been one of their lives took, and it was so a shock to me that I blanked out, and I was thankful that didn't nothing happen to neither one of us.
And now 2 impressionable children are scared and uprooted as the family has stayed in a hotel ever since.
Like glass and stuff on his face, he was just in shock.
Green filed a report with DeKalb Police and says other neighbors did the same. There's no word yet on who might have pulled the trigger or why, but he says he doesn't want to stick around to find out.
I've been here only a month. I've only been here a month, and this happened, and I don't want to be here no more. I want to, move and, I don't feel safe at home.
Green says the entire experience is triggering because he's been shot before, and he doesn't want his kids to experience the same. If you know anything about what happened, you're encouraged to give DeKalb County Police a call. Reporting in DeKalb County, Alex Whitler, Fox 5 News.
38 pounds of marijuana, 10 pounds of meth, and 17 guns. That's just some of what DeKalb County Police found during a recent drug bust. Officers searched the home off Browns Mill Road on May 25th. In addition to the drugs, officers also found 3 stolen cars worth more than $162,000.
Trash at first.
Saw it in a bunch of neighbors' yards, and we just kind of kept walking.
As they walked back home, they realized someone dumped these anti-Semitic and transphobic flyers up and down the street on Wild Run Court in Roswell.
It's awful. It's crazy. It's not good. I mean, it's hateful.
Well, they're inherently threatening. Last February, someone dropped similar messages of hate on dozens of lawns and driveways around Dunwoody and Sandy Springs. And the same thing has now happened in Roswell. This latest incident in Roswell occurred in the district of State Senator Josh McLaurin.
Anytime that you make up lies to accuse an entire group of people of evil behavior, what you're doing is you're laying the foundation to try to justify violence against them.
McLaurin believes a small group is behind the flyers, trying to make itself appear larger, its message more widespread than it is. He doesn't want to give the vile ideology the oxygen it needs to fester, but McLaurin says it's his and everyone's duty to call out hate.
Stand with me, stand with our community, and having our Jewish neighbors back and supporting them and condemning this type of anti-Semitism.
Roswell police say it isn't clear if the flyers are connected to the ones in Sandy Springs and Dunwoody, but they say the tactics and contents are similar. They're investigating if the flyers violated any laws. In Roswell, Christopher King, Fox 5 News.
They found the 9 victims with gunshot wounds. They immediately rendered aid, and the victims were taken to Joe DiMaggio and Memorial Regional Hospital.
One person was detained, but authorities are still searching for an additional suspect. Police say thousands of people were in the area for the Memorial Day weekend. Witnesses describing the chaos that unfolded when shots rang out.
He ran past, he had no shoes on, in jeans. He ran across the boardwalk, and then he went into the parking garage. And then the cops just came, like 5 cars deep with guns, looking for him.
The Hollywood Police Department says the investigation into the shooting is ongoing. The community still in shock, now trying to make sense of what happened.
People come to a holiday, enjoy a holiday weekend on the beach with their families, and to have people in complete reckless disregard of the safety of the public, and to have an altercation with guns in a public setting with thousands of people around them is beyond reckless.
Police have asked people to avoid the area as the investigation continues. In Atlanta, Charles Watson, Fox News.
Tensions have grown on the Korean peninsula after new satellite images revealed a military launch site in North Korea. The U.S. military believes that Kim Jong-un has prepared to launch a spy satellite in the coming days. That's because North Korea recently announced it would launch its first military spy satellite in June as a way to monitor what it calls the reckless military exercises between the U.S. and South Korea. Analysts expect the launch of the spy satellite will take place sometime between tomorrow and June 11th. Meanwhile, Tesla CEO Elon Musk is in China today, meeting with the Chinese foreign minister in Beijing. He's also expected to visit Tesla's plant in Shanghai. China is Tesla's second largest market after the U.S., and its Shanghai plant is also the company's largest production facility. During today's visit, Musk announced that he's open to expanding Tesla's business in China. Back here at home, lawmakers are back on Capitol Hill after a long holiday weekend, but some say they're still unsure if they'll support the debt ceiling agreement made by President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Conservatives are furious that deeper spending cuts were not included, while some progressives argue the president gave away way too much, even allowing some work requirements to be added for some adult food stamp recipients. But Speaker McCarthy says he remains confident that the legislation will pass and plans to hold a vote on the House floor tomorrow.
You know, I am happy that I went to the University of Hard Knocks and not one of these Ivy League institutes of mind saturation, of I don't know what. Yeah, I'm really not sure what to frame it, but there's a population in this country that just seems to want to be totally socialist. And it's coming from the institutes of higher learning. School of Knocks taught me a lot of stuff that they will never know or experience. I got a better education than you did.
Open military communication between the countries to prevent conflict. For weeks, U.S. officials have worked to secure a meeting with Beijing, including a direct letter from Austin to Lee. Attempts at setting up frequent face-to-face communication continue an ongoing stalemate between Democratic allies and the Chinese Communist Party. Staying on China, a private jet used by Tesla CEO Elon Musk arrived in Beijing today. This as the business magnate is expected to meet senior Chinese officials and visit Tesla's Shanghai plant. The trip is Musk's first visit to China in 3 years. His private jet was shown leaving Alaska before crossing over Japan and South Korea, according to a flight tracking website. The jet, with its identifying tail number, was later seen at Beijing Capital International Airport. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said Beijing welcomes Musk or other business leaders to visit China and promote mutual beneficial cooperation.
Certainly they
Tesla's
do.
second largest market after the U.S., and the Shanghai plant is the electric car maker's largest production hub.
Millions of unspent COVID money, rescind some IRS funding, and add work requirements for some to continue receiving welfare benefits.
I'm not sure what in the bill people are concerned about. It is the largest savings of $2.1 trillion we've ever had.
If the legislation fails to get enough Republican votes, it would need support from Democrats to pass. But it's unclear how many of them would vote yes. Some progressives say the spending cuts are too extreme. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is counting on Republicans to deliver at least 150 votes.
Unfortunately, you have far too many extreme-minded Republicans here who are playing an inside game as opposed to doing what is right for the American people.
A debt ceiling debacle could also spell more trouble for Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who may also be fighting to keep his job. At least one conservative is considering ousting him.
How much confidence do you have in the Speaker right now?
None. Zero. What basis is there for confidence?
If the House Rules Committee approves the bill, the full House is expected to debate and vote on it Wednesday. In Washington, Madler Rivera, Fox News.
Serbia's president put the army on the highest level of combat alert. The U.S. and the European Union are calling on both sides to de-escalate the situation.
Loud bangs echoed through the air as Serbian protesters clashed with NATO peacekeeping soldiers on Monday in the town of Zvečan in Kosovo. About 25 soldiers were injured while defending its town hall, as well as those in 2 other locations, the NATO-led mission said. It condemned the violence. The tense situation developed after ethnic Albanian mayors took office in northern Kosovo's Serb-majority area. The U.S. and its allies, which have strongly backed the country's independence, rebuked Kosovo for the move last week. Serbs boycotted the local elections, and some saw a turnout of 3.5%. The Serbs are demanding that the Kosovo government remove ethnic Albanian mayors from town halls and allow local administrations financed by Belgrade to resume their work. Serbia's President Aleksandar Vučić put the army on the highest level of alert, while urging Serbs in Kosovo not to get entangled in conflict.
I am urging the Serbs in Kosovo, and I know how they feel and how difficult it is for them, not to get in a conflict with NATO.
Kosovo's president has accused Vučić of destabilizing the country, but Igor Simić, the deputy head of the biggest Belgrade-backed Kosovo Serb party, says it's actually the other way around. He accused Kosovo's prime minister of stoking the chaos. Ethnic Albanians make up more than 90% of the population in Kosovo as a whole, but Serbs comprise a majority in the north. They've never accepted its 2008 declaration of independence from Serbia and still see Belgrade as their capital more than 2 decades after the Kosovo Albanian uprising against repressive Serbian rule.
Targeted some of Moscow's wealthiest areas, including a neighborhood where Putin and members of Russia's elite have residences.
This confirms once again the necessity to continue this special military operation in Ukraine and to achieve the goals set.
Authorities said 2 people were injured, one of whom was hospitalized. Moscow residents reported hearing explosions before dawn.
I've got thoughts of moving somewhere safer. Well, it's logical. It was meant to happen. What else did they expect?
The drone attacks deep inside Russia have intensified in recent weeks ahead of an expected Ukrainian counteroffensive. Strikes that Moscow has blamed on Ukraine have hit oil pipelines and even the Kremlin earlier this month. A Ukrainian presidential aide denied Kiev was directly involved in the Moscow attack. Meanwhile, explosions rocked Kiev in the early hours of Tuesday as the city was targeted by Russia. At least 1 person was killed and 4 were injured. Ukraine's military said the third attack in 24 hours was massive, coming from different directions and in several waves.
In Kosovo,
so much fun! Historical records for this extreme sporting tradition date back at least 200 years, and it's believed to be around 600 years old. There are multiple races throughout the day, and the winner of each race wins the cheese. And how do you feel having won the race?
Very excited, but I can't eat cheese. We can't eat cheese.
The world-famous event went ahead despite safety concerns from the local council. There are often injuries of one kind or another. The sports team catches people at the bottom of the hill. They say they've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah, they come down there at some pace, but we're used to it, so...
Yeah, it's good fun. You see all the people running down, you get a good view as well, which is always good, especially as there's thousands of people here. So, yeah, we just put our shoulders on the line and smash them, really.
They also help people who have been hurt. Stewie Hendry sets the races and comes dressed for the part.
This hat's like 14 years old, and it's like living a dream. I can't believe it's still together. I watched it this year, my wife was like, why have you still got that?
This old tradition means a lot to the locals, and for everyone involved, it's good old-fashioned fun. Malcolm Hudson, NTD News.